Hi guys, I'm Gasha. Welcome to the channel and welcome as always to our coffee times to discuss books and horror. So today I'm here to give you 10 book recommendations for spooky season.
It's coffee time.
So Halloween is here. We are in October. Is, probably one of my favorite months of the year because everything is Halloween themed in a lot of stores depending on where you live, and it is an excuse to rewatch a lot of my favorite Halloween movies as well. And I try to read mostly or only like thrillers and horror books throughout the month of October, and I always try to put a small list for you guys of books that you can read throughout the spooky season. Now this year my video is coming out a little bit late because guys, I've been extra busy lately, but I hope that this list still helps. And November is still spooky season, and in November we also have the Evil-a-thon. And you can still read spooky books throughout the whole year. But anyways, I put a list of 10 books that you can read for Halloween. These are some new releases that are interesting. There is a couple here that are still on my wish list that I need to get to, and a couple that I have read and really enjoyed. So I tried to give you guys a wide variety of options depending on what type of reader you are. So let's get to it. If you're looking for your classic haunted house for this Halloween season, I can recommend you Gallows Hill by Darcy Coates. She is a master when it comes to hauntings, when it comes to creating like really spooky, eerie, atmospheric tales. And the cover is already inviting you. You already know this is gonna be perfect for Halloween with the vines and the house and everything looking basically like a haunted place you should probably not get into. As it happens with a lot of these stories, we have our main character that returns to her family home, and in most cases, we have people that have inherited their family homes and they just go back to realize that there is something haunting the place. There seems to be something wrong with the place. Is it a curse? Is it a ghost? What is happening? So this is really for people that love those classic haunting stories. And any other mystery by Darcy Coates that you can get your hands to, or if you have any on your shelves, would do the trick, because like I said, she mostly writes this type of tales and they are quite effective. For my Disney fans, we have Long Live the Pumpkin Queen by She Earnshaw, and this is one that I still have not picked up myself, but this is absolutely perfect for the Halloween season. If you, like me, were obsessed as a kid with Nightmare Before Christmas, and if you, like me, rewatch it every single Halloween and then again for Christmas, because we can double up with this one, which is part of the beauty of it, then this is a must read. I also need to get my hands on a copy of it, and it is all based on Sally. Now Sally, because she's with Jack, she has become the Pumpkin Queen, and she kind of feels like she went from being trapped in the tower with this doctor, with the scientist, to now being trapped being this Pumpkin Queen, and she starts to think if there's anything else she wants in life, and she finds a door to another place. Like you see in the movie, there are these different doors for the different holidays. So she finds a door that is called Dream Town, and she enters, and I don't know what she's gonna discover there. I guess we're gonna see her finding her identity and figuring out how much she probably misses and loves Halloween Town. We will see. But yeah, I'm excited about this one, to hear the story told from Sally's perspective. The Woman in the Library by Sunari Gentile is gonna be perfect for those people like me that are into murder mysteries and kind of trying to figure out a whodunit scenario. So we are in the Boston Public Library when a woman screams. So people are being told by the security to calm down, to just relax, and that is when our group of strangers decide to all sit on the same table. The catch is, one of those strangers sitting on that table is a murderer. And I love this. I love this so much. It reminded me, of books like No Exit by Taylor Adams and stuff like that, that I've absolutely always loved. So I feel like this is going to be a perfect whodunit book for people that love to try to figure out who is the murderer in a group of strangers. For those of you that absolutely love slashers, what is more typical in slashers than a final girl? So I have here for you the Final Girl support group by Grady Hendrix. Grady Hendrix is known for writing kind of witty, funny horror books, kind of a little bit different than your standard horror. And if you love his writing in general, if you've read all the things by him, I feel like you will really enjoy this one. In this book, obviously, we follow several final girls. They each have their own story, that they survived certain, you know, attack, massacre, shooting, whatever it was. And now they all meet to try to cope with PTSD after what happened to them. But now our final girls are all gonna be in danger again, and they're gonna have to figure out who is coming back to kill them. I really enjoyed this one. I think this has been this far my favorite Grady Hendrix book, and I feel like it's because this was the more you know, the closer one to the genres that I really enjoy, which is a slasher, and I love stories about final girls. So I feel like this one was great for me, and I hope that you guys, if you pick it up, that you enjoy it as well. For the true crime lovers, I have the Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James. Our main character has a regular job by day, but at night she runs a website called the Book of Cold Cases, and it's about true crime stories. So one day she has the opportunity to snatch an interview with a woman that was, you know, convicted for a crime, for a murder, but then was absolved of it. And so she decides to go and talk to the woman to put that on her website. So she gets the interview and she starts going to this woman's house to, you know, get everything on record for her website, and that is when things get a little bit spooky. I think if you've loved her other book, The Sundown Motel, you're definitely gonna enjoy this one. Simone St. James has a very particular way of telling a story in which she's feeding you things from the present and the past at the same time, and then she's kind of merging it all together until we end up in the present at the end. So it's kind of like this dual timeline, so I don't know if that's going to be for everybody, but if you enjoy her other book, this is one that you definitely need to pick up. If you're looking for a classic, and if you also don't have much time, there is a book called The Great Mysteries by Edgar Allan Poe that has very short stories that you can digest easily for the Halloween season. You're still gonna get your spook on, but you don't have to invest so much time if you don't have the time for like a 300 or 500 pages book. He also has some of his classics, so if you've never read them before, this might be a great opportunity. Or if you're looking to read some, you know, horror classics, but you're a little bit intimidated by the chunky ones, maybe this one is great because you get just like short stories. If you need a psychological kick, we have Mary, An Awakening of Horror by Nat Cassidy, and this one has been recommended to me many times, and I have it high on my priority of books that I need to order. And this has been pitched to be something similar to American Psycho in a lot of ways, and I really did enjoy that story. I thought it was such a great character, so weird, and you know, the type of weird that I enjoy. So Mary is a middle-aged woman that basically she just likes to be on the background. She doesn't like to stand out, but now all of a sudden she's having these episodes, you know, she kind of faints, she has these visions and nightmares, and she doesn't know what's really going on with her. Now, Blaine, now. She starts to hear voices in her head and she's freaking out a little bit, so she decides to move back home and try to, you know, get herself back on track in life. But then she learns that some of these things that she sees and hears might be recollections from an actual serial killer. So yes, this is one that I'm really excited about, and I feel like I've heard a lot of good reviews about it. So if you want to pick it up, I feel like this would be a good choice if you're looking for that kind of more psychological take. If you're looking for a queer spooky book, I have for you Cemetery Boys by Adrian Thomas, and this one follows Jadriel that summons a ghost and then he doesn't know how to get rid of it. The thing is that he comes from a Latinx family and he's having trouble to prove to his family that he's good enough, that he's a good brujo, which is basically a wizard. and he, with help of his family, cousins, I think it was the cousins, he's able to summon this ghost, but the problem is that then he cannot get rid of it. I think this is going to be #1 on a series, but I'm not really sure if it's going to be a series or a trilogy, but if you look on Goodreads, it has a #1 on it, so I guess we're even going to get more from this. If you're looking for a more YA supernatural tale, I have a book that I recently finished, which is The Society for Soulless Girls by Laura Steven. I think this one has the perfect winter atmosphere, and also if you like a little bit of, you know, supernatural tales told at boarding schools, that kind of scenario, like an academia kind of thing, then this one might be for you. So years ago at this school, some girls died and they had to close their doors at this school because obviously who's gonna send their kids to a school where people die? So now they're ready to reopen the doors, and one of our main characters is determined to go to this school because she wants to find out what happened to those girls. That is Lottie. Lottie's obsessed. She needs to go. She needs to figure out what happened there. She needs to solve the mystery. And she ends up going there, and she is paired in a room with another girl called Alice. And the story is going to be told in alternate chapters from Lottie's and from Alice's point of view. And it was really interesting because I was really getting attached to Lottie, and on the other hand, I was not really liking Alice as a character, which I feel like it's what it's supposed to happen. I feel like these girls are so opposite from each other that if you love one, you will not really enjoy the other one. And I feel like that actually adds to the story, and it makes it also a little bit realistic, because when you're paired in these rooms with other girls, you don't know who you're gonna end up with, and it might be somebody that it is completely opposite to you. So Lottie starts investigating to try to figure out what happened in this place, and you know, the whole setting and the whole background and history of the place that it's described, I absolutely loved. The atmosphere, the supernatural elements added in it, it made it feel almost super real, even though it's a supernatural story, and I really enjoyed it. So I feel like this one is for people that love supernatural stories. And last but definitely not least is a book for people that, you know, enjoy the spooky things like pumpkins, you know, like your pumpkin latte, the fall leaves. They love to go to Halloween parties, but they just are not that much into horror per se, you know what I mean? So I have here The Other Ones by Fran Hart. I started this one last night on the Sprints with Amy, and I only have like this little bit left, and I'm already absolutely loving it. Now this is more of a romance and friendship based book more than anything. It's not truly horror. It is more about found family and, you know, misfits that find each other at school, and they're all different and weird, but they love each other just because of that. But there's a lot of spooky elements in the book. You know, we are in Halloween, there's a Halloween party, they talk about, you know, grabbing pumpkins and carving them. And our main character lives literally in a haunted house, so there's like a lot of Halloween elements to it, but this is more of a spooky heartstopper than anything else, and I guess that's why I'm loving it so much. You know, I would say if you love heartstopper and are looking for a spooky version of it, this is absolutely perfect. Alright guys, so those were my 10 Halloween recommendations for this year. Let me know down below if you've picked any of these already, if you love them or not. What else would you recommend to someone that is looking for a good spooky book for the season? Let's talk about it in the comments down below. Thank you guys as always so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in our next coffee time. Bye!